Culture creates economy. Without culture, there is no economy. As far as the biggest culture, the black culture, the Jamaican, Eritrean, African, black, everything that looks like this has the opportunity to create trillions of dollars. Not billions, trillions. And I'm talking about the high trillions. I'm talking about you have opportunity to touch hundreds of trillions. Companies know this. Do you know that certain coaches are literally worth $100 trillion? Now you might be like, hey, that is a very outlandish number. Where did you even get that number from? It's not something that I researched how much money is in the entire world. But let's say there's $100 trillion just circulating around the world. That might be a low number, but let's start with 100 trillion. Culture literally can affect and bring opportunity to put your hand over fist, make money, and potentially touch $100 trillion. Now, I know in some of these podcasts and a lot of these podcasts that feature people that look like me. And when I say look like me, I'm talking about in terms of black ethnic background, things of that nature. But they didn't really get in depth. They always talk about the negatives and the nasty parts of culture. But they never really get in depth of how powerful black culture is and just how much money it generates around the world. And I had an epiphany. I was in the shower before I smoked this after I smoked this very good cigar. And the cigar put me in like a trance, in like a very euphoric state. In a state where my brain was just thinking about many things. And then I thought about culture. And then I thought about artists wearing certain brand names that might have a negative stigmatism behind them, but yet they still wear them. The shirts that have the big logos on them that verify the status of the individual that wears them. I don't want to name them because I am aware of how much power somebody like me, whether influential or not, whether have an audience or not yet, could potentially have on a brand. Logos, brands, culture. Culture plus making it look cool, making it be cool, making it acceptable equals you have the opportunity to make trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars, because there is now a web of materials, products, services, items, things that involve that one culture, that said culture, and that one culture web could stick onto other cultures, and now it becomes the DNA of those cultures. And if artists actually knew how much power they have, literally overnight, people that look like us will be making money hand over fist overnight. The advertising game, the advertising playing field, the advertising market is worth trillions of dollars, because if the right person wears a certain brand, drinks from a certain brand, does something with a certain brand, it verifies them to the audience that they have. It verifies them to the audience that the person that bought that item, and if he's cool or if she's cool in that neighborhood, they're gonna want to wear, they're gonna want to drink, they're gonna want to put on, they're gonna want to get that said item because it is a verified item. The person that used his logo or his influence, his power that he has yet to realize, she has yet to realize, that brought that company trillions, billions of dollars. Even if they paid that artist, even if they paid that singer, even if they paid that podcaster $1 million for that advertising, they're making 10, 50, 100x of what you're gonna make off of that, because you don't know your value. Culture, it is the secret ingredient to making trillions of dollars. It's the secret ingredient to making billionaires, trillionaires, the wealthiest families in the world. It is literally culture, the culture of artistry, the culture of, let's just look at the culture of, let's just stay on hip hop. There's a said brand that had a very bad scandal that happened with it. It was like some type of thing dealing with kids, pedophiles. They had like a court documents of some weird stuff, weird things going on. People in an uproar. Yo, we're not wearing this brand. I'm not naming this brand because I am aware of the power that I have and will attain. But I think you know the brand. In my head, it's like if you wear this brand, you're kind of justifying, you're kind of co-signing what these people are. I don't care how hot the shoes are, how hot the clothes are. I watched an interview 2 months later. Of course, before then, I seen podcasters wearing their shoes. You know, they have children of their own, but whatever. Podcasters wearing their shoes, artists wearing their clothes, but I seen an artist, one of my favorite artists, wearing a hat. It had the big logo on the top. It showed it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. A kid sees that, they're like, hey, I know something happened with these artists, with that brand, something weird with kids, but my favorite artist, he still wears their clothes. So I think it's okay if I go back to wearing that, to show off, to, let everybody know that I have this luxury item that I don't know that I made cool. Somebody that looks like me made it cool. Culture plus cool. He made it cool to wear. So guess what? Whatever scandal that happened before then, it now disappears into the night to never be seen again until it re-emerges back into the surface. But you don't realize how powerful your culture is. When I say culture, I don't just mean the surface level. I'm talking about lifestyle, fashion, how you talk, language, the things that are accepted, not accepted, how flexible it is, how inflexible it is in terms of certain things, what brands we wear, what brands we don't wear, who wears the brand that we thought was not cool and now it's cool. There is a web. Culture creates a web of it creates an economy a web economy that touches everything that it touches and makes it profitable. Everything becomes profitable once the culture calls it cool. Once all the tastemakers and all the cool kids and all the people that are now trendy in society wears this item, drinks from this item, puts on the logos of this item. Culture creates economy. Without culture, there is no economy. As far as the biggest culture, the black culture, the Jamaican, Eritrean, African, black, everything that looks like this has the opportunity to create trillions of dollars. Not billions, trillions. And I'm talking about the high trillions. I'm talking about you have opportunity to touch hundreds of trillions. Companies know this. So even if they get a percent of that 100 trillion, these guys are swimming in money. Yeah, they're going to give you the advertising dollars. They're going to give you that 1,000 to make 500,000. They're going to give you that 1,000,000 to make 100 million. Why would they not? They know how powerful you are, but you don't know. You don't know. I want you to think about everybody that puts on a brand. You got the every designer brand you could think of, and you see the dudes, the rappers, they wear the t-shirts, and you see the logo all over it. You can't miss it. It's like, oh, we wouldn't even ask what type of shirt he got on. You already know what type of shirt he got on. She got on, what type of bag that is. They might not even like the bag for real. The zippers on the bag might be flimsy, but they know it's a status symbol. But they really don't know that they made the bag into a status symbol. The bag can't be a status symbol without your influence, without you making it cool to the culture. That status symbol has zero status. None. No status. If we all said, yo, that ain't cool no more, guess what? No more money circulates into that brand. No more structure is built from the businesses within that brand. You make everything cool. You have the power to make anything cool. Your culture does. Once your culture says that this shirt, this shoes is cool, that brand has access to billions and trillions of dollars. If, like I said, if they get 0.5% of that, they had just profited. Now, after you leave this video, I want you to think about every culture, what is made cool. Jamaicans, the way they cook, the way they dance, the music, everything within it is cool within it. So if a brand could infiltrate that, if we could find one person that has a big voice within that culture, and then the people that watch him or her sees that, the web begins to connect. Oh, this person wears these. This person smokes this. This person goes to this place. He goes to this gym when he wants to work out. Oh, where you go to Planet? Okay, we're gonna go over there now. Now Planet Fitness will get more subscribers, more monthly subscribers to that gym because said person that looks like me and you has validated it within the culture. We made it cool. Cool plus culture equals $100 trillion. Now, some of you might be like, yeah, we know that already, but I don't think you know it. I don't think you really know how much influence we got. We could literally erase the bad things that happened under a brand just because we wear it, we think it's cool. You could literally give a company a clean slate because of how much money can be generated from a brand. Just because right when a brand has your validation, even though a scandal is terrible, they could still go to a bank, they could still go to such and such billionaire that could front them some money, and they could be like, yo, listen, I know that this bad thing occurred a couple months ago, but look how much people we have access to. Look at these numbers. Yeah, that happened, but I know the bottom line means more to you than some scandal, right? So can we borrow 50 billion so we could really finish up the structure and then bring back 700 billion potentially? Oh, and make sure that interest rate is low too. Low interest rate on that. We're gonna give you back your money, and we probably might even give you a piece of the pie. Just forget about what happened. They did. Don't you see that they forgot? This rapper, he still puts on that hat. He still got the logo showing on it. It's one thing to wear a designer brand, but it's another thing to advertise it. If you haven't gotten no money from advertising this brand, you should not be advertising. If you look like this, whether darker, lighter, if you from where we from, if you of that same thing that created the said culture that I'm talking about, everything black, hip hop, everything that make it cool. Listen, bro, you should not be advertising none of that unless they paying you, and they gotta pay you handsomely. They gotta pay you for what you think you're worth. That's just my thoughts. Now, there's other cultures, right? I don't just want to talk about music and hip hop. Culture is the glue to making everything profitable and acceptable. Let's think about the cigar culture. I smoke cigars. So, of course, the cigar just doesn't start with the cigar. It starts with the plant, the tobacco. It starts with the person that makes it. It starts with the family, and then it branches out. It's the logo. It's the branding. It branches out. It creates a whole wave, a whole economy within one stick. You have cigar cutters. You have cigar lighters. You have cigar ashtrays. You have cigar lounges. You have the people that when they smoke a cigar, they want to look a certain way. You got the suits. That's fashion. Now you're in fashion. So you got fashion. You got the accessories. You got who's smoking it. So if a billionaire smokes cigars, your cigar, and it's advertised, guess what? The price of that cigar goes up. So you got the people that's within the cigar lounge making money. You got the drinks being served in the cigar lounge. That's making revenue. You got the ashtrays and the accessories. Those companies within that is making money. The culture of the cigar is what keeps the cigar going. If cigars was just smoking a cigar, it wouldn't last. It's the little things. I want to get a very expensive lighter. It's very known lighter. It looks like jewelry, and when you click it, when you open it, it makes a noise. The only reason why I want that lighter is because it has prestige within the culture of buying cigars, smoking cigars. How you light a cigar is part of the culture. How you cut a cigar, what type of cut. It's a status symbol, this lighter that I want. Of course, I don't really care if somebody else sees this lighter that I want and say that I'm cool. I want it because there is a prestige within the culture of that lighter. And I'm so confident within my knowledge of smoking cigars, and I love smoking cigars so much that I'm willing to pay $1,200, $1,500 for a lighter. I mean, of course, there's other features within it, but the cigar culture has a webbed economy. Everything has a webbed economy, and without the webbed economy of the culture, it won't last because there's no glue that makes you want to smoke a cigar, that makes you want to light a cigar, that makes you want to put on that hoodie because, yo, this rapper put on the hoodie, or this rapper might have even smoked a cigar. So now, if he shows that brand, or if he shows him smoking the cigar and the logo shows up, guess what? The cigar industry gets money now. They have access to the culture, the biggest culture in the world. Culture plus cool plus acceptance plus influence equals $100 trillion. Adolf out.